Hello, dear friends. So I woke up before the roosters crowed this morning to begin working on this recording I'm doing just now. And if this recording goes live, then I was successful the first try. So what we are doing is we're taking some data that I put into Power BI. That data is two CSV files that I merged together, and they are S&P 500 data, I think for the last year and for the time frame. And then the second data was Federal Reserve interest rates for the same time period. So we're going to take we're going to see if we can make a predictive model in Azure where through machine learning, which is a subset of AI. So we're going to take that S&P, that merged data, S&P 500 and interest rates. We're going to upload it in here in Azure Services. And then we're going to create a flow chart. And that flow chart will have us cleaning up the data and then doing splitting the data and doing two tests on it. And one of those tests is going to see, one of those tests is going to do a linear regression on the data to see if the dependent variable is the S&P 500 data. So we're going to do a linear regression to see if the S&P 500 data, if we could generate a predictive model where we could upload interest rates and determine what the stock price will be. S&P 500 are the top 500 performing stocks in the US. I don't know if they're the top. I think they are. But I'm just going to go here, and I have a diagram that I'm looking at to kind of guide me. And just going to open that. And okay, there I go. Now here we go. So that was just for my reference. It's kind of rough. But so here we are in Azure Services. So I've never done this before. So this is my first time ever. So here's what we want, is your machine learning. So if you don't see it, just go up here and search Azure Machine Learning, and now we'll click on it. So here we are, and no workspaces to display. Workspaces are where you manage all the models, assets, and data related to your machine learning projects. Create one now to start using Azure Machine Learning. So just so you know, I created a free plan and I get $200 in credit, I think. And then it goes pay as you go. So I don't know how much this is going to cost, but we are about to find out. So click on create. See right here, that plus sign. Click on create, and we're going to create a new workspace for machine learning projects and teams. That's what we want. Oh, look, new registry for sharing machine learning assets across workspaces. So we'll just go here to the new workspace and click. Here we go. And just leave that. What's down here? Nothing available. I name it. So I'm going to call this S&P 500 interest rates workspace. Probably wouldn't call it workspace, but because I'm so new, I'm going to do that. And then just accept all the other defaults. Oh, I have a restriction. Must be between 3 and 33 characters long. No, its first character has to be alphanumeric, and the rest may contain hyphens and underscores. No, I'll just call this, oh, look at that. And that's what it is. Let's try this. There we go. And SP 500 interest rates workspace. Now next, it's called networking. So what is that? Workspace is accessed via public endpoint. Compute can access public resources. Outbound data movement is unrestricted. So it's public. I'm just using public data, so I think I'll go with that. Private with internet. Workspace is accessed via private endpoint. Compute can access private resources. I guess you'd want this if it's internal to your company. Private with approved outbound. Compute can access allowed listed resources. Okay, I'm just going to go with public and go to encryption. Next, encryption. Your data is encrypted by default. For additional control over data, you may choose to bring your own key for encryption. No, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't have a key. Next, identity. Here's identity type. I'm just going to leave this as is. Next, tags. Tags are name value pairs that enable you to categorize resources and view consolidated billing by applying the same tag to multiple resources and resource groups. So I guess maybe in Azure they do billing by these tags. You can see how much it costs. Well, this is probably going to be my only project for quite some time. Maybe, I don't know. What is this? Validation failed. Basics. So let's go to basics. This value must not be empty. Oh. So a resource group is a collection of resources that share the same life cycle, permissions, and policies. And I don't know what to do here. Create new. It's a container that holds related resources for the Azure solution. I'll call this SP 500 container. There we go. Okay. Maybe now I'm okay to go. Look up. It's got all this. Workspace. There's my workspace. Okay. Next, next, next. And basics. Required information is missing or not valid. Tags are name value pairs that enable you. Okay, so I'll call this SP 500 tags. And what is value? Tag values are case sensitive. I guess that's what you name the tag. I'll just call it SP 500. There we go. And next, there we go. We are in business. Okay, and I guess I click here, create. And here we are. Okay, now where are we? There's Key Vault. Deployment is in progress. So it's deploying, and here's my resource, my storage account. It's SP 500 interest, and then it's got this number ending in 1. There's my Key Vault, SP 500 SDR, ends in 3. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's deploying. This is going to take a little bit of time. So I'll just look at what it says here. It's got start time. Oh, I think it charges me by time. So hopefully this thing thinks fast. What do we have here? Delete, cancel, redeploy. I wonder what that is. Download, and refresh. Maybe you download this data, I don't know, so you could keep track of it. Then you have inputs, outputs, and template. You have search up here, still deploying. There we go. Oh, something else came up. Log Analytics Workspace created. Still saying deploying. So maybe it's going to create something else for us. Status is okay now. Log Analytics Works. Oh, what do we have here? Application Insights. Now we have Microsoft Machine Learning Services. And there's Workspace. There it is, the Workspace. So it's getting all these assets together. And just to tell you what they are quickly, Key Vault, Storage Account, Log Analytics Workspace, Application Insight. Okay. Go to resource. Well, that sounds like a good place to go. So here we go. And look at this. We are in here. And I know from this pre-study I did before the session that we want to go, when we're in this workspace, to the studio web URL. Let's see. I just want to make sure that's the case. Okay, let's click on, we're in the studio. Every creator wants to be in a studio. So here we go. We've added 17 new preview features. Welcome to the new workspace homepage. Okay, it's a new workspace homepage. Build with pre-trained models from a new model catalog. Visit Manage Preview Features to revert to old experience. Yeah, I'll just select. So I'm not familiar with the new. Okay, so I guess the first thing we want to do we want to go to Designer, or I think we want to upload data. I'm just going to go to Designer and see what happens. Okay, so we're in Designer. This is where we're going to build our flow chart. It's right here. New pipeline. I guess it's a pipeline because it's a flow chart, so it kind of looks like a pipeline. But I want to upload some data. So I'm going to go here. Maybe this is it. Maybe data import. Let's go here. Import. Okay, this is what we want to do. Azure ML now allows you to set up data imports. Let's see what happens. Can I import my data? Choose a source for your data. Oh, I'm going to cancel that. Go back here to data. Maybe create. The file type is recommended in most scenarios when you are working with a single data file of any type, including tabular data. I guess that's CSV. This type allows you to specify a file location in a storage location on your local computer. Data source. Maybe data source is where this will happen. I'll call this SP500 interest rates data. Go to next, see if it'll there we go, from local files. Okay. And from local files. Next. Choose a storage type in data store to upload your data to in the next step. I'm going to check the blob store. Sounds like something that I'll at least remember. And then upload files or folders, upload files. Oh, that was kind of nerve-wracking. But here we go. Oh, and you saw my resumes. And Power B for Azure. There we go. Okay. And it's in the blob. We know that. I'm sorry, that sounds kind of funny. And what do we have down here? There's the data. Now next. Validating. This is fairly nerve-wracking for me because file format. I think maybe, I'm not sure if CSV, how that is a CSV file. I'm not sure it's comma. I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. It's called Lumen. Lumen, I uploaded a CSV file to Azure. Do I use delimiter as my, or comma as my delimiter? Comma as my, I know these little details, like a CSV file, you think it would be easy to do, but it's usually the hardest part of these getting these programs to work. All files have the same headers. Data set contains multi-line data. No. Let's see. There we go. Huh, finally. Success. Okay, and now next. And everything looks date format. Yep, date. String. That's not a string. SP500 is it's not an integer. It's decimal. Yeah, that looks right. Decimal dot. And interest is a percent, but I guess decimal dot. And I'll just leave these things as is. And okay, I think that should do it. Review the settings. So data type. Date, decimal, that's good. Schema. Well, it looks good enough to me. And create. So you could preview your data set here under data, explore. Okay, there's the data. So now I wonder if I could save this. I don't know if there's a save button anywhere. But we're going to go to Designer. We're going to go back into the workspace, so I shouldn't have gotten out of there. I'm going to look. And so I didn't want to do that. Let's see if I could go back this way. There we go. And I want to go back one more. See if I could find, there's data. So I want to find Designer. There's Designer. Okay. We're in Designer now. We want to create a new pipeline. And the interface has changed from the courses and YouTube videos I looked at. So, new wizard experience. Okay, next, configure and submit up there. Configure with more context. You can set up all content here without blocking, browse, and authoring in the canvas. What's new at the left pane has been optimized to include new functions. New asset library allows you to drag data, built-in components, now custom components to the canvas. Custom component updating tool for managing your component version. Submission list, okay. Leave panel with everything. You can always use close button to collapse the panel and come back later. We will save all the editing content. And there we go. Submission list, the list of recently submitted pipeline jobs. Okay. What's new in the action bar? Show lineage, create inference pipeline, and deploying publishing to endpoints from a training pipeline. I don't know what that is. So, okay. So, that was the hardest part, uploading a CSV file. Yep. Now the rest should be free sailing. So I'm just going to go, and the first thing we want to do is we want to add our data. So add data. Let's see, maybe this plus here. Oh, I guess this is where I add my data. Okay, I'll just go here. I'll just call it 2 for the sake of it. Next, local files. Next, we're putting it in the blob. Next, upload files or folder. Open, and then should be good. Next, next, and just change this from string. Whoops. That's decimal. This is decimal. And there we go. Next, and create. There we go. Okay, so now we have our data source attached here. Save. Okay, so I think we go here, component. We want a component in here, so that makes sense. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to have to figure out if I can see the scroll bar. Maybe add. That's not what I want. Maybe search, type node name, add data. Maybe this is it. Oh, so it's got a new interface. I should have went with the old, but let's see. Add component. Maybe insert data. How do I get that and drag it onto Designer? I think maybe here. There it is. Oh, there it showed up. Okay, I'll drag this onto the side. There we go. Oh, so I'll just have to fast forward that. And then what I want to do is I want to go component and I want to go clean missing data. Cleaning performed. You know what? I am going to pass on clean missing data. Let's see if here something shows up. Clean. No, it's in components. I'm going to go instead write down the split data. We are going to, so we would normally clean that, take out the empty rows or something along that line. But I'm going to split data and there's the scroll bar. Here it is. Split data. Okay, so I'll click on it, left click and drag it. Put it right here. I guess I could find clean data. Let's see if I can find clean data. So I'll go back here in components and click clean data. Let's see, scroll bar. Maybe there's something that just says clean data. Clean missing data. I'll put that right here. And then I'll just connect these. So you just left click on that little dot, drag it down there. Left, and this side, clean missing data, I guess, clean data set. Whoops, the whole model is moving. Click on that little dot. But let's see, I'll click outside. Click on that. For some reason it's a big glove now. There we go. Now just put that up here. Maybe make these a little closer. Now I split the data. So I'm good. Oh, it wants me to do something here with clean missing data. Let's see what we have here when we click on this. Double click to view details. Right click for more operations. So double click this. There's the parameters. And not sure if I set that as pipeline input. There's the outputs. Well, And then it said right click for additional parameters. So I'm going to go here. How do you get rid of this thing? There we go. Oh, that's not what I want. Close. Okay, close. And right click. You can see some options here. You could preview your data. Let's do that. There's the data. And then go here to close. Okay, so we are in business. Now I'm going to split the data because you want to test one with your, half the data. You want to train it with a linear regression model. And the other half, you just want to send straight to scoring it. And then the train model you send the score to. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So now we're going to look at train model in components. There it is, train model. Just put it right here. And we also want to get the linear regression. And that's because it's a continuous, the dependent variable is a continuous variable. It's a number. Linear regression goes right here. And then we also want score model. And then we'll have all our nodes and we just connect them together. Score model. And that goes right here. So this will go straight here. And this train model will go to this part, train, where it says train model. See this side says data set. That's the regular data set. That's just what that statistically is. And this is what the linear regression, what the model will suggest it is. And then to see how effective that model is, we're going to go to evaluate model. Evaluate model at the bottom here. Now just connect all these together. So split data. This results data goes into the data set. This untrained model goes into the untrained model. See, they're both the same. Oh, and now it's a little hand. Oops, it's moving the whole model. There we go. And this train model, see it says train model and train model in these two dots. Put them together. Results data set and data set, these two go together. And then at the bottom, we have scored data set. I'll just move this so you can see that. Scored data set, and we put it in the scored. Oh, we put it in. It's not. It's being fickle. There it is. See, it highlights a bit. I wonder how I can move the whole model so you can see it better. So there it is. And we're ready to configure and submit now. Okay. I'll save it. Saved. And configure and submit. Okay. Experiment name. Okay, I gotta see what to do here. Wonder if I have a record of this. I could job display name. I'll call it the job display. I'll call it SPSS pipeline created. Oh, it's not SPSS, I'm sorry. SP pipeline created. And I'll leave that blank. Wonder if experiment name selected. Well, maybe this is the experiment, so it would be existing. Let's see. Nothing comes up. So create new experiment name, SP interest experiment. And let's see, inputs and outputs. Maybe I should have made that thing an input. Oh, runtime setting. We don't want compute cluster, or do we? We want, I think we want compute instance. Oh, I'm not sure about that. There's the default select data store. And there's review and submit. I wonder if I need to make that first thing an input. I'm just going to go back here. Just close this for now. I think the data, you kind of expect it to know that the data is an input. Let's see. I'll double click. Set as pipeline input. So I guess that's the input. And now I'll go back to configure and submit. And I wonder if you have to select, this is the output, the evaluate model. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to configure and submit. Go to inputs and output. There's the data set. So that looks reasonable. Input and output. I guess output is maybe if you put it into you want it to go back into a file, then you might do that. That's my best guess. I'm just going to review and submit. And close, I guess. Okay, so configure and submit. Then I go to compute. And I think this compute is because it's in the cloud. So because the data is in the cloud, you got to go to this compute for it to do its magic in the cloud. Oh, I have unsaved changes, so I'll save. Then I'll go to compute. I want compute instance. And I just got to see the scroll bar. I guess this is my only option. I did check. And then the one I want here is maybe these are compute name. I wonder what that is. Compute name. So I'll call this compute comp SP interest. Let's just call it that. Comp SP interest. And memory optimized. I'll go with this one, DS11V2. And because it's cost 15 cents an hour, and I got $200 in credit, and then it's pay as I go, so I have a lot of credit. Then review and create. I guess Now it's computing. I select computer cluster earlier, and I don't know if it should be computer instance, so it's creating this. This will take a little bit of time, so I may have to fast forward this part. I'll just click it, see what happens. Then I'll go into Designer and click on Evaluate Model. I'll double click on that to see if the evaluation comes up. How do I see that?